Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope everyone's well. Today our event is just to afur like last year. We had positive feedback, so we thought we'd do it again. We're going to have a host of speakers here speaking on various subjects. Thank you for all coming out today, and thank you for everyone for coming. Without further ado, we'd begin.
Thank you for coming. We would like to invite everyone to the event, and we hope you find it informative. Our first speaker is Mahmoud.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
MashaAllah, that's very good. Okay, our first speaker is going to be Brother Afur over here, founder of Al Bayan Institute. Does very good work for the kids in the area, mashallah, teaching them the religion and Quran as well. Thank you very much.
I was here last year, and alhamdulillah, Allah Azza wa Jal gave us life to live another year. And I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for allowing us to enter the blessed month of Ramadan. You know, for just entering this blessed month is a blessing within itself. For that we say, Allahumma lakal hamd wa lakal shukr. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal that He makes this month for us a blessed month, one where we fulfill and gain the purpose, which is taqwa. So I want to remind myself and my brothers and sisters and respected elders that the month of Ramadan is not just about the samosas, the bur, the shah, and all these beautiful foods. It's not just about losing weight. It's not about just coming together and eating, but it's about attaining or being in the pursuit of attaining taqwa, piety, God consciousness, humility, sympathy, empathy, humbleness. Feeding others. These are qualities which are gained in the month of Ramadan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyam kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. O you who believed, fasting has been prescribed upon you as it was prescribed to those before you. As we know, Jesus alayhi salam, Isa alayhi salam and his followers, Musa alayhi salam and his followers, they all fasted. So when we hear this as believers, it becomes easier on our hearts knowing others before us from Ahlul Kitab, people of the book, fasted. Therefore it makes it a bit easier on you and doesn't seem difficult. But the purpose of it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, is so that you may gain piety. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. So if the purpose of this Ramadan is taqwa, what does taqwa mean to you? What does this Ramadan mean to you? What will you change? What will you improve on? What are the qualities that you want to beautify yourself with so that you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with? And what are the things that you want to rid yourself of? Maybe greed, maybe following your lust and your passion, where it's directing you away from the remembrance of Allah Azza wa Jal. Maybe we ask Allah Azza wa Jal that He establishes Iman in our hearts, Allahumma ameen. That the seeds of taqwa starts to give birth now. It starts to grow. And bi'idhnillah we die upon this taqwa, and that we ask Allah Azza wa Jal He makes it a blessed Ramadan for us. Jazakumullah khairan.
Our next speaker is Abu Majid, who is the leader of our local mosque Qalam.
Involved in our community and Reed Horn of Africa. Would you like to come up?
Somali. But what I want to say, and I know there's a range of fantastic talent here just waiting to speak to you. Oh, stand back, okay. Is that right? Yeah. I just want to make 2 points to the young people here. I've worked, I hate to admit it, 25 years in this building trying to help Somalis. And I know, and Rakia will tell me who works with me, the sacrifices your parents all made and the difficulties they had because they were the first generation here. And I think you owe it to them to make sure that you, like the last speaker said, take advantage of what you've had, which you were, if you weren't born here, you've been here most of your lives. I know parents who've given up money who get into rent arrears because they paid for your tuition to do extra classes to make sure that you were properly educated and you had the tools to go forward and actually do something great in your lives. And I actually really think it's important that you realise the sacrifices. You probably do already, but come to see us on Thursdays and you'll see the sacrifices your parents made, because they have struggled because they were the first generation here. Basically, they started coming in the 1990s. And the second thing I would say, and there's some examples here I know of young Somali guys who've really made a name for themselves. And I think it's really important now. I take not issue with the last speaker, but what I would like to see is instead of the councillors coming to the Somali community, I would like to see there being Somali councillors in the system. And I would like to see people going forward and actually really making a name of themselves, because I know, because I've worked for 25 years, the really positive things in the Somali community. But outside, those are not always recognised. And one of the things that I believe that young Somalis ought to do is go out and do things and make themselves known. And it's been a struggle for your parents because they were, Rakir will tell you, it's basically been survival. The next generation of the people, and I know there's some people here, they'll speak to you as to what, I don't know whether they're going to say what they've done. Either, yes, I was thinking of two people who've really, gone out and done some good things. And I think it's really, really important for the community that you all do that. As I say, it's partly in respect of all the sacrifices that your parents made, and it's also in respect of the needs of the community, because I think the positive things need to be recognised, and the way to do it is for all of you to go out and actually make a name for yourselves and make a mark in the community. I understand that now we're in a situation where we've got to wait for the councillors to come to us. As I say, I would like there to be more Somali councillors. So people need to step up and take part in politics, take part in all sorts of things that you can do. There are lots of projects that you can take part in. You can take part as volunteers, you can do it part-time, you can make a life of it, you can make a career of it. You don't have to end up like me being an advice worker, But whatever it is, what I'm saying to you is, to me, that's the way forward for the Somali community, that the next generation take up. You were either born here or you were educated here. You don't have the excuse that your parents had. Your parents had an excuse of saying, we're trying here to survive, to learn the system, to whatever. You know the system, and you should take advantage of it. And I hope that in a few years' time, there'd be not a few people here, but all the people who've done something really good and made a name for themselves are sitting out here in the majority, rather than the minority.
Our next speaker is Georgia. She's the current leader of Camden Council. She also was the ward councillor for Kentish Town for the last 7 years and is previously working with young people.
Thank you very much for having me here. I've only been leader of a council now for 2 weeks, so it's early days. Thank you. I was elected as a councillor in Kentish Town when I was 22 years old, which was a while ago now. When I became leader, one of my colleagues said, well, now that she's much, much older, older, but I've absolutely loved being a councillor. It's been a great privilege for me. And I represent Kentish Town, which has a big Somali population. And one of the most high points of my year always is the Somali Achievement Awards that happen in Kentish Town. Has any of the young people here ever been to a Somali Achievement Award? Well, too old for it. Too old, yeah. We'll have a special comedy Religious Figures Achievement Award. But it's wonderful to see the success of a Somali community over the years. And I know in '99, only one member of the Somali community got a GCSE, and now it's right on the Camden average. And I know, as young people, all of you are working so hard. I've spoken to a couple of people. My friend here is going to be a doctor at Hampstead School, and I was educated at Camden School for Girls in Camden. And we have fantastic schools here, and they give young people an amazing platform. So like John was saying, I look forward to seeing what you all achieve in the years to come. And one of the best things for me as being a councillor is you get to learn about the many communities in Camden. I'm really proud of our diversity. I think we have incredibly strong communities, and it's wonderful for me to be here tonight to learn from all of you, to be part of your celebration. I know how much the Somali community contributes to Camden. We do have one Somali councillor at the moment, Awali Olad, for Holborn, but we want to have many, many more in the future. And at the next elections, I know at least two brilliant people from the Somali community will be putting themselves forward. And I hope that many of you will think about it in the future. And as we come up to these elections, I'm working very closely with Tulip, and it's very important for Camden that she is re-elected. But I think most importantly, that for whatever party you support, whatever your view of the election, that you make sure that your voices are heard. And I know some of you will be able to vote, and some of you will be too young. I personally believe in votes at 16, but not for this election, but don't think because you can't vote that you can't have your voice heard. This is the time in the next 4 days to make sure that you talk to your politicians and you tell them what your concerns are, because they will be listening to you at the moment. And I know that Tulip is somebody who will be around not just at the election, but long into the future, and I certainly will be. So I hope this is the start of us working really closely together, and especially for the young people here, I hope that you will make sure your voices are heard, because they are so important. You guys are going to shape the future. So I look forward to working with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Georgia. We wish you the best for the future. Our next speaker is our local MP, Tulip, who's running for re-election on the 8th of June. And she'd like to say a few words.
Mafi antihi. How am I doing? Am I okay? Okay, good. I learned a bit. I only know 2 more words. Hoyu and Abu. Sorry, that's where my Somali ends. Is that okay? I learned a little bit. Look, I'm Tulip Siddiq. I'm actually not the MP right now. I'm the Labour candidate. I was MP for 2 years. But until the 8th of June, which is on Thursday, I'm still the Labour candidate because I'm running for re-election. So I'm going to tell you a few things. And this is directed more at the young people than anything else. I don't mind who you vote for, but I want you to go and vote if you're registered to vote. And as Georgia said, if you're not registered to vote, you must engage in politics and in the election. And there's a reason why I say this. Look, I'm a politician. There's a lot of politicians sitting here. Politicians make policies with an eye on the ballot box, right? When they write their manifesto or when they decide on policies, sorry, you're really nice, but you are in the way. Do you want to kind of maybe go in the middle so I can see these people? Okay, thank you. Look, when people write their manifesto or write their policies, they think about who votes. Why do you think older people's services are normally protected? It's because older people will always go out and vote. Why do you think educational maintenance allowance, benefits for young people, youth services, why do you think they get cut? They get cut because politicians know young people can't be bothered to go out and vote. If we make sure young people go out there and vote, whoever you vote for, you will see that your policies and the benefits for you will start getting protected. Because when politicians are writing their manifestos, they think, oh, I don't want to lose that vote. So have a look and think about what's important to you. Is it important to you that you go to university and you don't pay £9,000? Think about that, right? I heard someone say yes there. I hope you'll consider that in the Labour manifesto, Jeremy Corbyn has promised that he will abolish tuition fees. Think about whether you want youth services. The cuts to council are dramatic at the moment. You have to think about, do I want youth services? Do I want my community centre? Think about that, and those are the decisions that are made when you vote in an election. That's what I'd say to you. It's more important than ever that young people engage and get involved and vote. The other thing, we are the Muslim community. I'm very proud of being Muslim, of being of the Muslim community. This is a difficult time for us. Think about the Manchester bombings. There were people who were out there pretending they're Muslim, pretending that they're using Islam as their reason for bombing people. What do we know? We know that our religion is peaceful. We know Muslims are law-abiding, peace-loving citizens. It is our duty to challenge this narrative. And if young people don't go out and challenge it, there are people out there who think that is the real Islam. It's really important that you stand up, you're proud of your religion, you're proud of your identity and culture, as you guys are, and make it clear that those people don't speak for us. Because it is a difficult time for a lot of Muslims who live here. After each act of terrorism, in this area, the hate crime increases, Islamophobia increases. The election of people like Donald Trump is very bad for our community. So you may have seen me on television saying, Donald Trump, if you don't want Muslims in America, guess what? We don't want you in this country either. Do we want him here? Absolutely not. So make sure you make your voices heard. It's never been more important for the Muslim community to stand up and speak. Third point, Somali people on the council. We have one, it's not good enough. We have a Wali Olad. Where are our women? That's why I'm so happy that we have Faduma Hassan and Abdi who are standing in our constituency in a very safe Labour seat next time. So inshallah, we will have 2 more Labour councillors. And Aisha, I'm not going to pick on you, but you know, there are spaces for more women to come forward. So we hope you will considering it, no pressure or anything in front of all these people, but we do need female voices on the council who are Somali. And I'm looking at all of you. Don't try and hide away, people who are looking the other way. We want female voices who are Somali of Muslim origin on the council. And any support you need, there is a host of talent here who will help you, women who are on the council, and we want our women to come forward. Let me say something else. I have made mistakes, there's no doubt about that, and I've apologized. But if there are things I can do to help the community, that's what we want to do. We want to get out there and we want to help you. And we want to make sure that there are no such things as vans that say go home, circling around our constituency. This is our home. We're proud of being here. We're proud of being British. We're proud of being Muslim. We're proud of being Somali. We're proud of being Bangladeshi. And that is all our identities. So anyone who tells you to go home, tell them to go home to wherever they're from, because this is our home. And also, I want to say thank you, because you know what? The Somali community, they always stand up and they support the Labour Party. We don't take your votes for granted. But the amount of people who've come and supported me and come out and said, tell us what we can do, giving up their time in Ramadan, which are long days without food and drink, it's astonishing and it's amazing. And I'm just going to pay tribute. There's lots of people who've helped, but I'm going to pay tribute to one woman. Where is Deka? Are you here, Deka? Look, Deka's a Hoyu herself, okay? She's got kids at home. She neglects them. She comes and helps me day and night. I wouldn't have made it without this woman. You know, they say this nonsense about every successful man, there's a successful woman, blah, blah, blah. Behind successful women, there are a host of successful women, okay? The men are okay, we're not having a go at you, but we know who controls the power in the community. And Deka has really held my hand throughout this election. So thank you.
Thank you, Tulib. Good luck in the re-election. And please, anyone who's eligible to vote, please do so. It's very important. Our next speaker is the Mayor of Brent, Parviz Ahmed, and he'll just give us a few words.
My dear respected brothers and sisters, it's a great privilege for me in here. It's the second year. Last year I came in here as a Mayor of Brent, and this year I'm in here former Mayor of Brent. But still I'm a councillor in Brent as well. Our former MP, and future MP, inshallah, our leader of the council. And where is Brother Majid? Our leader says she will be bring the councillor. Yes, she bring the councillor in here, Nadia Shah. She was also former mayor of Camden as well. And hopefully another future councillor will be in here, Najma sitting down in here, Aisha, like many of them in here. First of all, I'd like to say thank you, Deka, for inviting me. And Tulip was mentioned about her name. Yes, she's doing tremendously good job. Not only election, it's for your community actually. Through when she's working at school, after her school job, she's still with the community. I know how I know. That's my wife working with her as well in the same school. Last 22 years, my wife is in the Kingsgate Primary School. So that's why I know about what's going on in around this area, about especially the Somalian community. I would like to take one message from you people. Always whenever I knock the door, you people say, then what we are doing about your housing issue. Look, we as a councillor in the council, many cases coming for the housing issue especially. But housing issue, many of you may be thinking about that council is not doing enough. No, council is ready to do enough, but problem is in your central government is not giving us enough fund. So there are a lot of make central policy as well. We can't go beyond the policy. So that's why we can't, if we want to help, we can't help. Sometimes maybe many of you are angry about the MP. Then MP can't do anything for us. No, MP again can't do anything for you. There is some limitation, everything. So now, if we want to change, then we need to raise our voice. How? Through the choice of the right person for the right job. So this is the time coming, as the election is the 8th of June next week. So you people should come out and come support the right person for the right job. Tulip did last 2 years work in this constituency. I proudly can say to you all, she is the best person. Wherever I go, always everybody recognizes her name. I met with the many conservative supporters as well. They said they will be vote for the Tulip. Reason, she can raise the voice on behalf of the local residents. So that's I'm proud for myself as well. So my message to all of you, please don't forget, 8th of June is the election, is a month of Ramadan. It's a really hard time for especially the Muslim community. But every vote is a matter. If you think then one vote okay, one vote is not good enough for the tulip, maybe she can own. No, it's one vote is really matter. Because before, when she was elected, that time Glinda Jackson was MP, she owned by only 42 votes. So think about it, this election can be like this, 10 vote or 20 vote. It was happened before many times, many occasions. So every vote is very important. Especially I would like to say all young boys and girls in here who is under 18, please pressurize to your parents to come out. Have you done your vote? If they don't, so please go and vote. And if you need any help in that day, election day for lift, any transportation, any help, please feel free to contact with us. We are always available. And on behalf of your community, actually DACA was really doing hard work for the helping for the tulip. So you can contact with her. If any other volunteers is available, please come forward and help us. That is we need right now. And yes, many of you are standing tonight in here.
Next speaker is Mohammed Hashi. We're pressed of time, so you kind of got to make it a little quicker now.
I feel a bit put out because I'm from Lambeth, so I'm going to talk about Lambeth a lot. So for what I'm going to talk about being black, being Somali, and being Muslim, and a lot of struggles that come with those titles. Fortunately for me, I don't have to talk about being a woman as well, so alhamdulillah, it's not that bad. So I moved into Brixton in 1989 with my family, and that was before the Civil War. So when people used to say to me, where are you from? I used to say Somalia, and they used to say, no, India. That was it. And that was a bit of background for me in terms of growing up in Brixton specifically. The school I went to, in 5 years, we had 5 head teachers. So every single year, our head teacher got sacked. Out of 240 of us, 7 of us got 5 A to C's. Alhamdulillah, I was one of them. That excluded maths and English. So I don't even know where the other subjects came from, if I'm honest with you. I ended up going to college, a grant-maintained school, and it was really, really good, which is probably why I failed so badly in the first year. But again, alhamdulillah, my mum was behind me. And apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my mum has always been my backbone. And this is especially to the boys, because growing up in this society, there's always a kind of perception that boys and their mums don't get on, etc. But my mum, she said to me, what's the worst thing that can happen? You fail your exam, take it again. And that is something that always stuck with me. So when I finished, I've redone my exams, I've redone the whole year. Alhamdulillah, I got four A levels out of it. I went on to do a degree in biomedical science. Alhamdulillah, I completed that degree. I left and actually got employed. My first job was to go back to the school that I was failing in as a teacher. Now this is really where it gets interesting, right? So during the half term, this is 3 months into the job, I got shortlisted for a promotion. During the half term, I saw some young people fighting and I broke up the fight. And subhanAllah, someone pulled out a gun across the road. And I'm just looking at it thinking, oh, beep, this is really exciting. And the bullet actually hit the railing and ricocheted, meaning it bounced off the railing, come across the road and hit me in my shoulder. SubhanAllah, cutting the nerve to my whole arm, shattering my rib hit my lung, collapsed my lung, and the bullet ricocheted and stopped on top of my spine. Again, alhamdulillah. They told me I had 70% chance of never using this arm again. So alhamdulillah, as you can see, doctors are always right. Now, for me, the biggest education of that was, firstly, I had over 232 people come and visit me in the hospital, alhamdulillah. And then the rumors started. People went back to the school and said, why are you employing a gangbanger? I heard it was a drug deal gone wrong. I heard it was a shootout, and I had a gun as well, and we were shooting at each other. You know, some really fabulous stories. It was in the newspaper that I got ambushed by 6 kids, and they shot me in the chicken shop. I don't know if it's because of my size why I was in the chicken shop, but alhamdulillah. But the head teacher of the school turned around. Do you know what she done? She gave me a new contract for a year with a £7,000 increase in my wages. Alhamdulillah, again, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I then left the school, went on to study my PGC to become a qualified science teacher. I then went on to do my master's in forensic science, alhamdulillah, which I completed. Now, 3 months before I completed it, this is the 3rd time I'm going uni, I got diagnosed as being dyslexic, which made sense finally for me, why I couldn't never understand things and remember things. You know, I'll be reading something and not understanding what I'm saying, but I sound so eloquent. People believed that I knew what I was talking about. So alhamdulillah, that was a good education for me. I started a company called the Bricks and Soup Kitchen, which helped homeless people. Alhamdulillah, off the back of this, again, I want to remind you guys, I went to a school with 5 head teachers in 5 years. And 7 of us got 5 A to C's out of 240. A year after I finished my master's, I got awarded an honorary doctorate, which means when people say, Mohammed, I can ignore them until they say, Dr. Mohammed. So alhamdulillah, this is a good education for me as well. I've been voted now, mashallah, 2 years in a row by the Evening Standard as the top 1,000 influential Londoners. Earlier this year, and this is me giving some homage to Camden. Last year, I met your only Somali councillor. And off the back of that, I was recently selected to be the council candidate for Labour in Stockwell. So, and this is my point right now. I sit on 6 advisory boards at Scotland Yard with the senior police. And the most interesting thing was the people advising, because the Somali community always comes up. How do such a closed community, so isolated? We don't understand the culture. We don't understand their religious beliefs. We don't understand Somalis. And do you know who advises the police about Somalis at Scotland Yard at the highest level? No offense, Pakistani and Bengali. They say, no, this is what you need to do. Give us some money and we work. You get to put forward the candidate. If we are in these meetings, we get to choose who we want to be elected. I didn't realize that. And it is sad that we're only learning this in 2017. I learned this in January 2017. So I'm sharing it as quick as I can. But inshallah, we need every single one of you. Everyone has someone looking up to you now. Someone watching your struggle. There's someone there watching how much you're going to persevere. And we can't let them down. A lot of the time, we don't know who these people are. We don't know who's on the edge of quitting university. Wallahi, we don't know who's on the edge of killing themselves and taking their life. So we have to, and this is from the deen, to give charity, to smile at people. We have to become a community. We have to support each other. And it's really difficult because, again, as I just said to you, we look at the killing last night, for example, in Peckham. And all these kids that are victims of knife crime. And we think to ourselves, was he Somali? Oh, he was a Somali, alhamdulillah. SubhanAllah, on my phone right now, I've got 2 brothers. One Jamaican, one Nigerian from Stockholm, Muslim. And they're dead. I've done youth work for 15 years. And 15 young people have died from knives or guns. Still, we have no voice. There's no voice representing the Somalis. We have big problems happening in Camden. Big problems happening in Enfield and Streatham and Lambeth. Not one Somali talks out. And inshallah ta'ala, we have to be more active to support our community, inshallah ta'ala. Jazakallah khair for your time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Our next speaker is Zakia Aden.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Zakia Aden. I'm 17 years old and I attend a 6th form at Hampton School. I study biology, chemistry and psychology. And today I'm here to talk to you about the big jump from year 11 to year 12. Now, in year 11, what you basically had to do was memorize the content and then you secure yourself a good grade. But the exams in year 12 were a bit different. The exams consist of application questions. These application questions means it tested you on your complete understanding of the subject you picked. Also, not only is the exams way more difficult when you hit A-levels, it's also, there's more distractions because as you reach 6th form, you have more free periods, also known as study periods. And you have to make sure you are on top of your revision. You're always revising and try your best at all your subjects. And in year 11, you had the time where you could say, oh, I'm not going to do this homework, it's not going to be that effective. But in year 12, if you don't do a homework, you miss a whole lesson. Another distraction is basically, you have the power and you have the will to leave the school whenever you want. you could say, it's a free period, I want to go for lunch, or you could either be like, it's a free period, I might as well revise. These are the things that you have to do. You have control over yourself, and that's what you have to make sure you do as soon as you hit year 12. On that note, I'm going to end it here. I'm just going to say to you that the last thing I'm going to say is always to be on top of your revision and finish before the class so you can get ahead of the exam papers. And yeah, make sure you make things easy on yourself. Thank you, Alex.
Our next speaker is going to be Du'ala. Wants to say a few words.
I have been requested to translate what the brothers have said, all of them. Majority, I think, is the Somalis, and I would like to deliver my speech with the Somali language. Also, I would like to send in the message to the candidates, because Somali younger people and Somali families, many are suffering. And when it comes to the housing, Somalia are the most suffering, honestly. There are a number of Somalia have been served with, and they have a very bad condition houses. Many Somali families are living very bad condition houses. I'm a presenter, I'm a community worker. I visit homes with the community. Wallahi, some of the homes is not suitable to live a human being. And that happens in this country, especially Lambeth, especially Southwark, especially Southall, some of the Brent. I know some area of London, some councils are treating Somali wallahi badly. And this is the truth. It's not about someone has told me. I sit with the councils and how they treat our community. I saw a single mother has been evicted because it was not reinstated for her housing benefit for £17,000. They want to evict her, but somebody has helped her. You know, some good people, wallahi, some good people are in the councils. Medical dhalinyaro far badan xabsida ku jirto waxaan rabaa inaan soo gabagabeeyo. Dhalinyaradu sida ay idin sheegeen hooyooyinku, they are fantastic. Wallahi, aniga aabbaanahay, carruurteeda waa la shaqeeyaa, laakiin isma faanayo. Rag fara badan ayaa maanta jooga oo hooyooyinkii kale cid looga tagaa, because community-ga markaa la shaqeysa ayaa ogaanaysa dhibaatada hooyadu ay haysato. Waxaa arkaysaa guryaha qaarkood oo ilmaha guryaha laga saara idin sheegayo, hooyo kaliya wada aabihii meesha jooga. Sometimes way shaqaysanayaan, sometimes ama Somali politics ku jira. And I have seen it, been idin ma sheegayo. Haddaan rag Soomaaliyeed nahay, wallahi waynu dhacnay oo hooyooyinkii carruurtii waynu gabnay. And that is a fact. Waxaan rajaynaa insha Allah in ragga iyo dhalinyarada mar walba dhaha labada qof ee isguursanaysa responsibility-gooda inay qaataan. nin baa 5 caruur wuxuu ka tagayaa 6 ama 7 caruura ama minicab wada ama shaqo kale u haysta ama politics buu galay Soomaaliya ka aadaya. 3 hooyaan u tagay mid ka xiran yahay mid kalena oo hadda conviction kale uu sugaayo oo xabsiga loo dirayo. imise dhalinyaro maalin walba conviction loo dirayo. hadda walaalku wuxuu ka sheekeeyay meelo qaarkood ka sheekeeyay. aniga South waxaan la yaabanaa every night way taageen marka xalay ma habeen oran soo maray. way taageen meeshii taageen. maxaad ka sameynaysaa wadanka adoo dhalinyaro oo 15 jira 20 jira maxaad banaanka qabanaysaa? You can be a lawyer, you can be a prime minister, you can be whatever you want in this country. Prime Minister Theresa May tiri meesha rabta ka imo. You can be ninkii la oran jiray Obama. nin madowba waa meesha ugu cunsurisan waa America. haddana waa aragtay muxuu ku soo baxay because kartidiisa iyo dadaalka uu sameeyay. You can be whatever you want in this country. hadda lawyer nima doonays lawyer aan noqon kartaa, hadda counselor doonays. walaalku wuxuu sheegay Maxamed 9 counselor aan UK ku leenahay almost nearly 27 years markii Soomaaliya burburtay baynu joognaa. waxay rag naga dambeeyay imise dadka Asiaanka maanta leeyihiin. marka dhalinyaradiina meesha fadhisa isna hooyooyinkiin no aniga no anybody dadkiina maanta halkan jooga maanta halkan fadhiya within next 4 years ama 5 years ama 6 years inaad doctor noqotid, inaad lawyer noqotid, inaad counselor noqotid. Think about that. Politics is not about gabar hadda aan la shaqeyno oo Hindiyada waxay tiri 17 jir baan markaan politics ka soo biiray. You need dadka loo baahan maanta ina labor dhinac ka raacdaan, ina conservative dhinac ka raacdaan, ina liberal ka raacdaan. waa idinkii dadka idinka maqan. waxaad halka soo gabagabayna dhalinyaro idinka la hadlaya. Please waqtigiina ha iska dhuminaa dibadda taagnaatid. hooyada ay shilinka ay ka jarayso oo cuntidiina aad ku cun lahayd ingiriisku waxa dhahaa aad you heating oo eating wallahi guryaha qaarkood heatka waa la gaabiyaa sababta cunuga waxay ka fikraysaa hooyadan inay tuition fee geyso inay madrasa geyso all in this country waa money how many sida Soomaaliga free aniga dugsi quraanka free aan ku dhigan jiray macallimiinta markii oo waxa la dhameeyo waxa la siin jiray laakiin wadankan everything is money so waxa laga rabaa maamada marka aad 18 gaadho inaad u shaqeyso hooyadiina daa 18 gaadho oo jaamacadda dhiganaysid party waa inaad u shaqeysaa party waalidka inaad ka shaqeyso
Thank you. Derek will just come up and close off the event.
إن شاء الله aad baa u mahadsantihiin runtii ina imaateen waliba dhalinyarada iyo dadka waaweyn ba waxa aad maanta runtii u rabnay inay yimaadaan waxa waaye dhalinyaradeenna runtii wax badan way isbedeleen wayna soo kaceen ma sha Allah aad baanan ma aragtay waalidiinta uga mahadnaqayaa laakiin community dad isku yimid meel ma gaaro inay isku xiran yihiin maaha community-gana wuxuu meel gaaraa uu meelna ku gaarayaa waa dadkiinaan dhalinyarada waa dadkiinaan yaryar haddaad ka seexataan community-ga ma aragta anagu hadda markaan waddankaan nimid waa run wixii uu ka hadlay John baa intii badnaa yiri waxaan nahayn dad oo ma aragtay ama dhaqan ku cusub yahay ama luuqadii ku cusub tahay ma aragtay waxyaalo badan oo struggle badan oo dhib badan aan ku gaareynay adinku inay sahlan tahay dhaqan luuqad ma aragtay waxa tiin dad ma aragtay wali yar marka ummadan kale oo hadda meelaha fadhiyo oo ayaga muslimiinta ah waxay wax ku gaareen waa isku imaanshaha iyo isku tagga isku xirnaanta oo ma aragtay hadii la isku xiran yahay dhaqan iyo diin iyo ma aragtay dhinac walba waad u hagaagaysan insha Allah marka waxaan u sameeyay in isku xirantiin oo meel la gaaro wax kale cidna kama rabto waalidkan hadda cunto soo kariyo afurka keenay oo soo dadaalay waxay u sameeyaan inuu qof walba arko ilmihiisa fiican oo community-giisina wax ku celinaya ma aragtay maxaa yeelay adinka hadda annaga waligeen ma joogayna meeshaan waa la dhimanaya waa la tagaya laakiin waxa joogaya halkan ama noolaanaya ama u baahan in isku sii xirmaan waa adinka iyo ilmihiina adinka ba hadhowti hadda ilmo badan oo ma aragtay sanado hore ilmo yar ah hadda ayaga ama hooyooyin iyo aabiyooyin ah aabayaal ah marka haddiina isku xirmin waa dhaqan godoomaysin waa hadalka luqadda hadda inuu ku adag tahay marka insha Allah waxaan rajaynayaa waliba dadkiina jaamacadaha dhigta inaa gacan qabataan ilmaha yararka iskuulada dhigta kuwa hadda yartaanada iyo eedka ku dhalinyaradiina maxaa yeelay ummad waxay meel ku gaartaa isku xiraan marka insha Allah waxaan Ilaahay ka baryayaa in Ilaahay subhanahu wa ta'ala idan xifdiyo dhaqankiina iyo diintiina iyo ma aragtay afkiina inuu ka xifdiyo insha Allah marka in isku xirantaan baan rajaynayaa insha Allah marka khayr baa idin rajaynayaa wassalaamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh